Housing, which in many ways many people would argue it's overtaken health as the biggest domestic crisis facing government. We're hearing lots of plans for infrastructure projects and so on. What about housing?
Absolutely, the housing crisis has to be dealt with. They've made a complete bags of it. But what I think we get bogged down in arguing with is about the crumbs from the table when it comes to the limited amount of fiscal space that we have, when actually we take our eye off who's running away with the cake. And the entire cake most of the cake is being taken by the non-payment of effective corporation tax, not enough tax on wealth, no financial transaction tax that exists in practically every other EU state, and there's at least another 6 or 7 billion to be got if they implement.
So does that mean you don't welcome the water charges rebate?
That's not what I said at all. Of course I welcome the water charges rebate.
Even if it's coming at the cost of some other budget line, some other area that needs the money?
One of the crumbs. Where's the whole cake? And the whole cake is being taken by the corporations and the very wealthy in this country who are not paying their fair share of tax. And if effective corporation tax at 12.5%, get rid of all the loopholes and all the little tricks that they give the multinationals to reduce their tax to an effective 4 to 5%, bring in an effective 12.5%, tax wealth. There's over 1,300 people worth between 20 and 50 million in this country who are not paying a wealth tax.
And let me put the question more simply, because we have to bring this section to a close soon. I mean, essentially, we're moving into a situation in 2018 where the government says you're going to balance the money coming in and the money coming out. So that's, most people would say that's good. On the other hand,
and that's a very significant achievement in light of where we were in 2011.
But that's not what's going to happen in 2018.
We could still get more money in.
Let me ask you about the choice, because the choice...
There is another stream here that nobody wants to talk about. Is the untaxed profits out there, taxing the wealth, and introducing measures like an international financial transactions tax, right? And I think we need to talk about that third way. You cannot just say we have this limited fiscal space, we owe all this debt, and we need to spend money on house and health and all the rest of it, and not look at glaringly obvious where it could be coming from.
Pierce.
Yeah, our priorities are very clear. It is about making